Buddhist presents Climate Governance India Summit, co-powered by Rambol. Team Marksman Network hosted the inaugural edition of the Climate Governance India Summit 2025 in New Delhi, uniting leaders and policymakers to drive India's green transition through actionable discussions on policy, innovation, and sustainable growth.
I'm going to now invite a very, very special person. I'm going to begin with a man whose vision really drives these crucial industry conversations that we're going to see fold and unfold right through the day. His leadership at Team Marksman Network has always focused on creating measurable impact by bringing together the right stakeholders at the right time. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an absolute honor and privilege to invite now on stage the co-founder and managing director, Ragesh Kupchandani, for the welcome address to join us on stage, please.
Thank you for joining us. To the very first premier edition of Climate Governance Initiative, the India chapter. I would like to thank especially Datin Sari Sunita Rajkumar for investing faith in us and helping us bring this chapter to India. It's very crucial, of course, for India climate governance, and this would be many of the first that would be a changing moment in climate governance in India. So when I see this, of course, I would like to firstly even thank our partners, Buddhist, Suzlon, Rambol, Cognitude, Chakra Infra, for believing in our vision and helping us drive this initiative and this event in this large format.
So ladies and gentlemen, for our keynote address for this summit to really kickstart things, it is an absolute honor and privilege to now invite our advisory board chair. With a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, now join me in welcoming Datin Sari Sunita Rajakumar, founder, Climate Governance Malaysia, independent director, advisory board member, Team Marksman Network.
So today, I wanted to just very briefly touch on this idea of progress. The Executive Secretary of the UNFCCC pointed out that last year, clean energy investment was 2 trillion worldwide, and we all know India is part of the forefront of this as well. And the good news is that we're not waiting for miracles. The economics are on our side. The overwhelming majority of new renewables are actually at below the levelized cost of electricity, below the marginal cost of generation, and turnkey energy storage systems are also at extremely attractive prices as well. But we also know that last year we hit 1.5 degrees of warming, that every subsequent year in the last few years has broken heat records. We know that almost all planetary boundaries have already hit tipping points. We know that there's a presence of microplastics in every part of our body, so we know that we're not pivoting fast enough, and we've reached these tipping points. And when policymakers, regulators, when pricing, when valuations are lagging behind and do not reflect. So to summarize, all key actors in the ecosystem need to anticipate and be seen as responding. I'm looking forward to the conversations of today, which will help us anticipate and increase our collective resilience for this existential crisis of our time, which we face. Thank you so much.
But next up, ladies and gentlemen, we're now going to hear from our presenting partner, the leader who's literally building India's net zero future, not just talking about it. With a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming the founder and MD of Buddhist, Deepak Rai.
I would like to say thanks to Indian government, at least the policies are now very clear. The bold climate policies and clear direction is giving the big difference. Without this, a startup like Buddhist would not be standing here today, showing the world that India can lead the global net zero movement, and we are confident to do this. Our projects prove one thing: net zero can build faster, smarter and better, right here in India.
Ladies and gentlemen, with a thunderous round of applause, join me in welcoming Shri Mandinder Singh Sirsa ji, National Secretary, Bharatiya Janata Party, Ministry of Industry, Food and Supplies and Environment, Forest and Wildlife, Government of NCT of Delhi.
As a minister I own a responsibility of environment here in Delhi, and that's a big responsibility for me. At the same time, also the Minister for Industries, there's another responsibility for a growth, and growth which has to be with the sustainability, the growth which has to be in line with the environment, and that's the biggest challenge for Delhi. Delhi government, it's a 7 months old government here. We have been working day and night, and the first mission of our government, of our Honorable Chief Minister Rekha Gupta ji, is to give the clean air to the people of Delhi. That is the biggest challenge. When the growth is the necessity of any state, you cannot run your country or state without growth. But the biggest challenge is with the growth comes a pollution, with the growth comes all those challenges which today we are here to address. So I'm thankful to all of you for your support, and in coming days also, the government always stands with you, and we also look forward that same kind of support from you. Thank you, and have a good day ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, we do now have Meenakshi Lekhi ji, former Minister of State for External Affairs and Culture, Government of India.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, especially the marksmen and markswomen, to make the right mark. And the right mark is not just discussing climate change. That is a shift we are seeing from policy to implementation and action. And as we say normally, the taste of the pudding is in eating it. And that's what India has showcased to the world, that while world is struggling, because the world is thinking in silos. They think development and the climate agenda are opposite. Right-wing government, the left-wing government, then there are Greens. In India, it's all one. The government of the day will be the right wing when it comes to capitalist market. It will be left wing when it needs to give out to the people and engage in, I call it social welfareism and working with the people on the grassroots. And it will be green when it comes to the climate agenda. That's where the governance lies. So for energy constancy, we all need to understand, and the shape and form that changes has to be put to use by all of us, and all are, wearing our thinking hat, and while using the technology and technical skill to manipulate that change of energy and utilize every bit of energy which is just lying wasted here, there, wherever. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
With a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, now join me in welcoming Mr. Eric Solom.
Namaste. There are some Tamil friends here. Vanakkam. I'm so happy to speak to this distinguished audience. And let me start with the global picture and how India is fitting into that, because the world is changing at a very rapid speed. If anyone had told me 10 years ago, where shall I go to get inspired for the environment? I would say, you go to Brussels, you go to Berlin, you go to Paris, because Europe is the lead entity when it comes to the environment. Anyone was to pose the same question today, I would say, you go to Beijing, you go to Delhi, and you go to Jakarta, because Asia is now where you see the lead on green issues. And India needs the political leadership, the vibrant business, and it brings to the world a spiritual tradition, which is very critical for the green transformation. Thank you so much.
So, with a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Shailesh Haribhakti, co-founder and chairman, Bharat Clean Rivers Foundation, to kindly join us on stage for a very special address.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me remind you that the climate clock is still ticking. Climate change is the ultimate exam of our collective intelligence. AI gives us the tools to pass that test, but only if we use AI wisely, inclusively, and compassionately. So let us ensure that the algorithms we write tomorrow encode the conscience we declare today. Because in the end, history will not ask whether we build smarter machines. It will ask whether we built a wiser civilization. Thank you. Let us make this the decade when intelligence truly serves the planet. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, for a keynote speech, join me in welcoming Emily Farnworth, Executive Director, Climate Governance Initiative, all the way from the United Kingdom in London.
So just very briefly, the Climate Governance Initiative is an organisation that provides a coordination function for a global network of 34 chapters covering 70 countries around the world. All of these different chapters provide a membership network for board directors to talk about the important issue of climate governance on boards. We know that there is a very important role of boards in looking at their long-term success of their business. And so, of course, you've just seen the need for us to consider climate and nature in the longer term. And so board directors, by the nature of their fiduciary requirements, have got a role in really understanding that. For all of you in the room who are sitting on boards, for all of you in the room who are advising boards, or would like to advise boards, what decision will your board be taking in the next 12 months to catalyse the change that you know is needed? Thank you so much for your time today.
So in Bhutas we execute the projects, and the real impact is from the not only the metro cities, from the small town in Jhansi. We created a world first net zero library, and there are more than 250 children. They are getting the education in the comfort environment. And this is the Asia's highest efficient building certified by the IFC World Mag, and is saving like 100% energy, generating 100% energy on the site, more than 1.5 times than the consumption. So that's the real impact. And when we generate locally, so we no need to create new dams, new power lines. So it's save lots of infrastructure for country. Our country economy based on the agriculture, and 40% of the food got waste due to poor temperature control. So in Rewari, we created world first net zero cold storage that's give the temperature control from the ambient to minus 27 degrees Celsius. Due to this, farmer can protect their product till long time. Due to this, till they will not get the best value of their product. So this will solve lots of problem of the country, and farmer get the better prices. Currently, you can see the problem in our country is power, water and the air quality. So in Bhutas homes, we are creating the homes where AQI under 50 and the water demand less than 80%, because in the flushing we are not using any potable water, 0 liter potable water, and we are cleaning himself and not throwing any waste outside. Third, the generation of the power, 100% whatever the demand of our house we can generate locally, and we have technology to make the off-grid housing also. There is no electricity, water and sewer required.
Sure. So we, as Rambol, recently issued a report at the New York Climate Week 2025, where we laid out a strategic roadmap for how to reduce the negative environmental impacts from a data center and pave a way for a net zero type of a data center. We usually, build what we call as energy efficient data centers, where we sort of integrate energy efficient systems like advanced cooling systems, power distribution systems, and also try to integrate the renewable energy power into the data center design itself. And this ties well with the green finance initiative in India currently. And also, we also look at the life cycle carbon assessment for the data centers, so that we are able to reduce the overall carbon footprint for the data center at the design itself. There are many, just to name a few, going beyond, when it comes to say the e-waste. I mean, basically electronic waste is one of the biggest waste that's generated out of the data centers. So going beyond the regulatory norms, regulatory norms require that you give it to authorized waste recycler, but what does the authorized waste recycler do? So you need to build the capacity to ensure that those e-wastes are recycled and useful materials are recovered from that and reused into the supply chain system. The second is, move towards more eco-friendly packaging for your equipment. You sort of prioritize, incentivize suppliers who are using recyclable materials in their manufacturing in there. So that's another, like, you're trying to build a value chain where, the circular economy is going there. And then at the time of building it, so try to use more of recyclable materials instead of using nascent, native materials.
The inaugural Climate Governance India Summit 2025 was a grand success, uniting leaders and changemakers to drive India's sustainable growth agenda. Team Marksman Network thanks all partners and participants for their incredible support and looks forward to an even more impactful and inspiring edition next year. Buddhist presents Climate Governance India Summit, co-powered by Rambol.